will you. You will lay a desire. Then I'd wear your power. Basically, I gave you to get this again. I say, oh, me, I'm right. And by doing you, I'm a part of my trade there. Well, you'll learn it goes away. And as I go, that you are not, we say you. Papa Mora, get you up with anywhere, Momba Sibole. Sibole. L'arrangeur parmi national, très trop fort. Puis à club, everyone by say so, where did you go? I want to go. There be you. Do a play you go back for Monyo. Papa Yankita, petit, brother Fassoni. Kaidaka. Bena Paya Posa Bobo, Mambo Panjago. Apoblo Akaway. Waposa Yokaway. Be a for them one body up a clay you can. Nyan Yossi one. What's the cat to your way at Mignon? Emo Nesetoka. With this one, where they have it. Go on, yeah, I can't salute. What's to a cat to your way at Mignon? Emo Nesetoka. Now, with this one, where they have it. Go on, yeah, can you get? Now, conquering your way, and your sound, Fabian. I do. Let's do what you just grab the one. Say your book on ya. Are you an owl? Say, Bobo, that you know, now we say you over. I want to you come on, I need a boy. And yes, I'm going to buy them when we get. Hey, Imo, one of what I want, I guess me, I'm going to end it the way. Oh, ow. Say, Bobo, that you know, now we say you. So, like it, I'm going to never go. Netoni and you. Hey, are you? Opo Quick just say, oh, yeah, I'm a walking ever. Kaidaka. When it was to a popular net, you don't know halfway. I just know. This is what I say. Say, Bobo, yeah. You like do I get more by one name or tell it that you by Potamu, Tanyada. Planning Papa, Pinagasia, Bacao Lage, the Buesi, the BSC, baby. There's no yes, you can up one. There was a ball, was a dressy, Mambo, Belly Bobo, that you know, and I will say you over. I will. Saibo. In back to a black guy, do it so say. I just want to lay a bat to an album, you see you okay. Wait, you, Ivo, Saibo. On the Kriana walk like a bad day noir. Chose a was so now when you're naturally stand, let the soule. Say, Bobo, that you know, and I will say you over. I'm done it. Where are you? Two up away. And no Russell, K. Bear Gospel. I'm down your part, your way. Thank you for your work and my one. I'm the Pope and Yaguba. Don't feel it, I say, oh, Clavodio. Say, back in what place we are coming. Say, Bobo, that you know, and I will say you over. About papers, you in this room. Quamus, the man get that Siko Bala. Clavodio, I say. Post a do so look. Say, I say, my you know. Can one day, yeah. Your family, your same Monday, now. Everyone I say, oh, my I'm a morada. Say about that, you know, and I will say you. I wish a rule of the my something when you went. Saibo, 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 that young man now will take you. Mop man down le Mary, read on your man, don't you? When you know I say, it's a mayo. That was why you also want when you. I'm original, I say.
Good evening, folks. Samson told Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in tonight. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have you. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. As you can see, I believe Mr. Toe is at home now, and just give me a minute here. Let me make sure I can hear myself. Let me just make sure I can hear myself that way, because my earplugs since I been away. Okay. Okay. Yes, I can hear myself. That means you can hear me as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Please share this video. Share it to as many people as possible. It's been a wonderful, 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 wonderful 2 weeks, to be honest with you. First thing first, I want to thank God for the traveling mercy. I want to thank God for his guidance on us. I want to thank God for everything he did for us as we travel. Watch over our family, watch over our travel, watch over as we move from one place to another, watch over our driving, everything we did. He was involved, and we want to thank God for that. Want to thank God for that. Safety, safety, Lord Jesus. We want to thank you again this evening as we come before you, my Lord. Yes, we want to thank you. We want to thank you specifically. We want to thank you for everything that you have done. And the travel mercies you provided for us, the safety you provided for us as we drive on these highway. In the last 2, 3 weeks almost, driving daily because of your guidance, because of what you did, with faith we have in you, my Lord. Yes, yes. Without you, nothing is possible. You guide us through the traffic, hundreds of cars going by. Yes. You guide us through the flying. Yes. And we're back home. And we want to thank you. We want to be grateful to your mercy. We want to be grateful for everything that you have done for us. Thank you. Thank you, my Lord. Thank you. You are the Savior. We want to thank you. You are the Father. We want to thank you. We believe in you that, yes, indeed, you make things happen. All you say was for my time, and your time is the best. Your time is the sweetest time of all. And thank you. My Lord, we come again tonight as we pray to you tonight. We ask that our brothers and sisters that are not in peace tonight provide the peace for them. We come to you again, my Lord, to say that our brothers and sisters that are in pain, please provide the pain medicine. You are the pain medicine. Step in the family of the bereaved, the family of the hurt, the family of the sadness. Whatever it is tonight, my Lord, we ask that you take complete control. And we want to thank you for that. We want to thank you for all that you have done and you continue to do. My Lord, we come again tonight, putting Liberia and the people of Liberia in your hands. Bless them. Give them wisdom. We ask that the President of the Republic of Liberia be blessed. Bless his hand. Give him long life. Whatever he touches, my Lord, yes, indeed, that it will be blessed because of the Liberian people. We ask whatever door he knocks in the interest of the Liberian people, my Lord, that you will indeed open that door. You brought him this far, guide his hand. Guide whatever it is that he's doing. My Lord, we're here again tonight to say, bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So, folks, welcome, welcome, welcome. Fuma, welcome, 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 my brother, way over there in Cape County. Uh, I wish I were rounded out. They said, bring me some basajama. My brother, thank you, folks. Share this video to as many people as possible tonight. It's a wonderful thing, wonderful thing. I want to say here. Let me just take a few minutes here to say many thanks to people who we encountered within the last 3 weeks. I was in the East Coast. I landed in my own hometown. Well, home from home, Canton, that is, Canton, Ohio. Landed, my brothers and sisters are dead. I went to see my father and mom grave. That asked for blessing from there as well. Asked for whatever it is you ask for your sister. We did those. And we also were able to travel outside of Columbus, where we were allowed to come in contact with some important, important documents. I read a few of these to you the other day, and I will do it again, but not tonight. Not tonight. And what the intent of me, what they asked me, what do you want to do with these people? What is the end result? The end goal here for me is twofold. One is to see where we were, what happened. The main one is, why did we go to civil war? I'm very interested in that. And the reason I'm asking this is someone like me, I was fully involved. I did not participate in terms of shooting. I did not participate in terms of killing or whatever during the coup. But I was informed. I was quite aware of what was happening. I was aware of weeks before the coup. I was told that this is what we're going to do. And I witnessed in the meeting of what they're planning to do. So I am quite involved. So, however, what I did not predict is the end result. Okay, and nobody can predict that. But there was a saying during one of the visits from my own brother, where he told me in any revolution that I know already anyway, because I was first soldier of the past. So they tell you in revolution, there are those who will not survive the revolution. And he stated that this is a revolution for one man, one vote. And some of us might not survive it. But I want you, he said, to rest assured that I suffer for many. And God is in heaven. God is in heaven. He told me that. I suffer for many, including you, to benefit. And I thought it was a joke. You're gonna suffer, but here we are today. And so I put these documents. I'm getting these documents, and it's a treasure trove. To be honest with you, these documents, if you were to get your hands on them, as a political guru, as someone media practitioner, as someone who likes to read, if you read some of these documents, the few of them I show you, the other just two documents that I show you, immediately you know there is no way we're not going to have a civil war. Now, the magnitude of the civil war, that we don't know, that for sure. The extent of the damage and lives lost to the civil war, nobody could have predicted that. But what I thought was happening, I think, and I'm not naive. I'm not naive. I believe that many of those participants during the Liberia political activities, especially in '84 and '85, many of them knew that this was not sustainable. Their action were not sustainable, and the only way to be able to carry forth, I believe, is that there will be a civil war. And they were hoping they were gonna get an upper hand. But I'm doing all of these things here, and I'll put them together one day. I'll be reading to you from point to point, but it's deep. These documents and they are not fake. They are people that I know sign these documents. People that you know because they were involved in the Liberian politics since the '70s. The progressive. And then another point that I said twofold. Another point that I want to show is that there are many of you who talk tabata here on these kinds of platforms about how the progressive brought war, how the progressive damaged your livelihood, how the progressive made you not to finish school. BS. The progressive was the one that got you to where you are. You should be thankful. You should be grateful that the progressive is able to redeem Liberia. The progressive, these young people, many of whom we were so for soldier for. And I can't tell you because at that time I didn't know anything either. But now that I know and that I have come in contact with some of these insider document, I would say, I can stand here and boast to say the progressive have done a wonderful, wonderful job for the Republic of Liberia. I will fight hard. I will fight hard to get the likes of Deacon Carter to see if I can get him on my show. So we'll discuss because he was one of the insiders. I would like to have Samuel Jackson, but he's too far away from me. Now the platform he on, but now I'm able that one. He will not come here, so I will not even bother myself. Okay, but many of you try to stay away from the progressive. Yes, another thing I want you to understand: the sacrifice, and I'm a witness to that. One of the progressives that I know, his kids, all of us that have children, you want your children to be better than you. You want your children to surpass whatever that you have done in life. But many of the progressives, those that were able to have kids, many of these progressives, you cannot name any one of those progressives and say, look what the son is doing in Liberia. Look what the daughter has done in Liberia. If you see any name that you will call and their son or daughter is way high, they are not a true progressive. They did not struggle for the people. Those progressive who struggle for the people, you will not be able to point finger at their kids and say this is the success the kid is having. Any one of those progressive, anyone that you will call progressive that have kids who is doing better, they are not true progressive. They are not. They were never part of the struggle. They were never part. They might have PhD and all that kinds of stuff, but they were just riding on the back of the true progressive struggler, the revolutionary, the original. Name them and tell me what their kids doing. Because of the sacrifice, these people put themselves through a lot. Here in the United States, they could have done what some of us are doing now. I'm an engineer. I work. I make little money. I can go to the store right now and buy a sour limb and eat my goat meat. I can afford it. But those days, there was some progress. I know this because I know this. I'm not going to go deeper than that. But the intent of this year is for me to show that yes, indeed, these progressive were not stealing. You name me one progressive, and don't come call Dr. Sawyer. Those are not the real progressive. The ride on the bike of the progressive. I mean, those who struggle, those whose lives were threatened, those who spent time in jail, those who were flogged Sunday morning. Kolo, I see it. I saw it. I see it. I have done it. I've seen all of those. Those people I'm going to be talking about. And I think I've done a wonderful job. I'm still going to go back again because there's so much treasure trove of these documents. One of the things they did, but then again, you can't blame them because those days, writing was like Facebook today. In order for you to do something, you write to each other, express ideas. But there's this one progressive who thought within himself, I must preserve these documents. Someday, somebody will get hold of these documents. That person is dead now. But because that person had the mindset to preserve those documents, I got hold of them. I got hold of them. And we were discussing. I got speeches upon speeches of President CIC Kanyendo, the military leader of the Republic of Liberia. Speeches upon speeches, things he was saying, his prediction for the next 5, 6 years. Unbelievable things he was saying. You would say, well, somebody wrote it for me. I don't care. He read it. He must have believed in it. And I will also show you the growth. Oh, man, my goodness. The growth from the day that Monday morning when President Doe made his first appearance on TV, from that moment on to the last, there are so many growth. His growing process is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I will show you that. And I will also show you there were some people within the Doe group that were making sure that he would not be successful, that were there pretending to be someone in his interest. But there are documents that I'm going to show you. These documents, they will write to each other how this coming up, but they will make sure that it's not successful. They were there. We will point those things out. And so then let me go on to say the intent was, for me now, my intent is to show that the true progressive, those who struggle for the people, I will highlight them. The like of Samuel Jackson, that old man you see on TV now, blah 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 blah. One of the mean person, some of the mean people that struggle, and I'll point them out. I'm not going to invite him because most likely he's not going to come to it. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to try my best to engage Deacon Collins, so we will talk about it. And also, here's another thing here that I'm going to, the side of that. But very much in my mind, and as I explained it, and I will explain it, many of you will understand the connection between the struggle and the football business in Liberia those days. How the young people, people like Mama Musa, Abadna, Sabamaya, Salomon Sipley, because of their skill, Liberia did not go to civil war long time ago. How the football business in Liberia, in conjunction with the struggle, that it balances out. And I also want to give credit to the football players those days. They were not making money. They were there to go to a movie and wear sneakers. But they're talented, very, very much. Ooh, more talented than any other. I would say, because I like them. So they're very talented. People like Waka Heron. He would dribble, Waka. But of course, Barrow was the best. And then somebody come and say, well, that's why I be giving me an eye that team. But he got good. No, I will not say, how you get good player then he said that team. Man, but I don't let eye business now. I don't let eye business. So I can't kind of say eye good, but they have some of the best players. But on the side of Barrow, we got Kofi Bruce. Oh my goodness. How you gonna call Kofi Bruce and you pull something? Oh my goodness. But I don't want to talk about football tonight. The main thing is, I believe that those days, those who were able to showcase the football and the talented young people are Gray, Teacher Gray, the talented young people, Paul Brewer, the talented young people, Santo Marie. You can't. You a talk football business, you call Santo Nima, man. You can't. There's no way anybody would talk about football business in the days and then you don't call Santo Nima. And you like talk football business in the war and you call Joe Rihanna and then you're not serious. But I believe that because of those people, that indeed Liberia could have had a civil war a long time ago. It would have been nasty by then, at that time. It would have been deadly. Anyhow, because at that time, it was going to be completely country versus conquer. There's no two-way street around it. Nothing you could, and it would have been much more deadly than when you have infighting, I would say, among ourselves. But like I said, I have these documents, and I will show you many of the actors in it. I will show you many of the actors in those during those days. So let me move on. We will talk more on this. I will post some document together, and maybe I might post them sometime. Uh, but it's very interesting though. There were those. It's this Liberia is a unique place in the world as far as I'm concerned to live. And someone, if you can read, not necessarily educated, because now yeah, I don't even sure if I get GED anyway. So I don't put myself my educated Liberian. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even get education. Good. Okay. So, but the point here is, if you can read, you will truly enjoy the dynamics that was happening those days. Those days, it was. Mm-mm, mm-mm. But we'll talk about that. We'll go through that. We'll go through that. I also want to take this opportunity tonight, as I stay there, and first of all, say many thanks to my brothers and sisters. When I left from here, I got there in Ohio. My sister, older, younger sister. I mean, she's the older sister for all the other guys. I'm number one. Number two is dead. She's number three. And then we got four, five, six, seven, all the way down the line. So when I went, she came. She had a doctor appointment in Cleveland. I met her in Cleveland. I went there. I got her, took her to a doctor appointment, blah, blah, blah. Went to Canton to see the other siblings over there. We had a wonderful time. From there, I took her back home. She flew back to Houston because she lives in Houston. From there, I stayed with the other sibling. After that, 2 days later, I went down south to do these documents. From there, I went to Grand Jude Association Convention in Kentucky. And I want to say here tonight again, I want to thank all Grand Judeans that attended that convention. It was an election convention, so there was more than your usual convention setting. However, Grand Judean fully participated. And I am involved, not was, but I'm still involved in a project that the current president, who was then she just been re-elected, she asked me to lead a group of Granadians to do a project. It's regulation project or whatever you want to call it. It's a project where they will have a basketball court, volleyball, all the sport, and it's connected with Granada Community College. So I was involved as a chair. I was the chairperson for the group in terms of technical ability, technically to be able to advise the president and what have you. So we are at the point now of signing the contract. We're just turning the contract over to the president, where she would turn it over to the board, and the board would look at it, maybe approve of this, not approve. I really that's not my issue here. Okay, but I've done that. We did that already, me and my team. And I want to say again, thanks to the team for their support and their hard work, specifically Dole. There's a young man by the name of Dole, who was the secretary, a brilliant young Nigerian, and hard-working young Nigerian. And so, anyhow, this, if you can see it here, this is the how do you call it, award that I received, Grand Jude Association in America Distinguished Service Award. And then it's a veteran, veteran Samson tour given in the city of, well, I was there going to me Atlanta, Georgia. I was at this first day, blah blah whatever. But here's the reason why they call me a veteran. If you look at the Constitution of Graduate Association, the original drafter of the Constitution of Graduate Association, Samson told me would be there. We've been around. We've been around. We are here, and that's it. Thank to God we are here. But they gave me that award, and which I appreciate. I want to also, on a very serious note, take this opportunity to tell the Grangians that participated that night, because the project team was able, on that project. We were able to raise $25,000 just within 30 minutes. 30 minutes, we had the floor. We were able to raise $25,000 for that project, and it goes along with other people are still pledging, by the way. So hopefully, other people would pledge and say, "Okay, I'll be responsible for the entire facility, such as the basketball facility. I'll be responsible for that," and they take that. Okay, once the contract is signed, we're gonna portion those responsibilities, and we divvy out all of those who are supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z. We'll do so, and I want to thank Nigerians for that as well. I also want to thank Nigerians, those that were not there but were watching. We said thank you very much. We appreciate it. And let me just say this here. I think from my 3 weeks in the East Coast, I went to Kentucky. I was in Ohio. I was in Philadelphia. Okay, those three, going places. And in fact, on the road while driving to Philadelphia, I met some couple of Liberians that were also going to Philadelphia. They came from where was it? Detroit area, and they were talking about LPR and the liberal and the so-called conservative. They were telling me, give them a hard time. Don't let them come and bring their conservative idea on your platform. And when I got to Kentucky, similar situation. People were calling, people were talking, calling me. Aren't you something told? Yeah, the liberal, yeah. One lady came up, we had a picture with her. She said, I watch you all the time. I want to thank all of you guys. Sometimes we sit here in our own living room and what have you, blah, 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 in the studio, whatever. Well, I used to have a studio. I don't have a studio anymore. I'm going to have a studio anyway. But we sit down, and while we're on it, okay? So when we sit here, we come out and make these kind of ridiculous statements. Oh, my ain't paying you more, you ain't paying my mom, blah, blah, all kinds of stuff. Not knowing people are watching us. Good evening, Vera. Thank you for joining us, my daughter. We appreciate it. Now, there are people that I don't know. I don't even know they're watching. I got to be careful. I got to be careful what I say. Okay? So I have to be very, very careful what I say. I can't come out here and pretend to say, "Oh, no, no, no." There are people that are watching, responsible people. And I think all of you are responsible. All of you are responsible, more responsible than some of us. But I want to take this opportunity to say thank you all. Thank you when we go to these gatherings and people talk about the show and people recognize us. We want to thank you. I want to see us put my hand together and say thank you. That God bless you. Not that you don't have anything to do, but to join us here and listen to us talk tabata all day, as Nyama Nyama I call it, all day. You have something to do, but the fact that you respect us, and that's why we're here, and we respect you in return. I want to take this opportunity again to say thank all of you. whether you're just passing by or not even watching, I just want to thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So one last thing. I went to the funeral of my cousin slash brother, Edwin Poor, that passed, and we had a funeral on Saturday in Philadelphia. Sunday I left Philadelphia to go back to Ohio. Monday I flew back home. But it was a very sad day. So on my way, by the way, I saw my kids anyway. But on my way coming, I stopped by my kids' place, Samson, who is big, mega church music director. He's the conductor, and they're supposed to send me the video. When I went there, he invited me because he was doing the conducting of the big choir. And don't ask me how. I've been learning how to play guitar for the last 70 some more years. One tune, like that's it. I don't know how this kid came up with to be musical genius. Yes, a musical genius, not only because he's my son. A lot of people have told me that, but I have not really watched him play until I saw him that day. I couldn't believe it. I had tears in my eyes. My son, with all the white people, my son, he and myself were the only black people in that church. More than 400 people. They went to black people in that church. I said, what? My son standing there commanding people listening to him, people following. He going, but here's the thing I want to say on this before I move on. Um, my uncle, who happened to be Robert Toll, the guy who used to sing Aibar, his father could not read or write English, but bring any kinds of music you bring before him. He would read it, he would teach them. In fact, true story though. When the president back in the day taught me time, talk about time. When the president, them different country, when they coming, they will send their music ahead and they will go to the old man who can't read or write. They will give it to him and you'll go teach his band, the Liberian National Band, the Liberian National Army Band. He will teach them how to play and welcome these people. And I believe that gene has been passed on to my son. And I'm very grateful for that. So anyhow, when I was coming from Philadelphia, I stopped by. So he put music together, and for his Uncle Edwin, he made that. I'll post it. Hopefully, by the end of the day, I'll post that. So I want to tell him thank you again, Samson. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Continue to do what you're doing. And he's big boy, big. This is if when he was born, I was holding him like this in my hand. Now even his shoe, I can't hold his shoe like well. I want to hold his shoe, I would be like this. But I'm very proud of all of my kids. All 500 of them. I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of all of them. They have made all of us proud, and we're very happy to have them in our lives. But let me move on, folks. Samson told LeBron Public, if you're joining us, I would say thank you very much. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I just give you round of what is happening in my neck of the wood. So here we go again tonight. Samson told LeBron Public, I want to thank you. I'm going to now go ahead and start the real program after. Well, may I beg you, man, something to. Oh, I will be careful. I say I will be careful. Now, open more too much again. I will be careful what I say now. I can't just come and just blue like that because people watching. People watching. So, yeah, I will be I will be civilized. So, ladies and gentlemen, this shows tonight. Samson Toe is here sitting in again. We want to thank all of you again that are watching, but we really, really, really do appreciate it. Even Sedition, welcome to watch my show. CDC, Sedition, you're welcome. You people myself with no more confusion about us. We are brothers and sisters, Sedition. Watch my show. Let's talk about politics in Liberia. It's an open mic. You can call me when I put the number up and we'll have a discussion. I no longer have a Chinese phone. My phone is open to anybody who's going to call me. The phone is there for you to express yourself freely. There's not going to be any kind of conflict here between us. There's no confusion whatsoever. We are here as a civilized human being. We're going to have a discussion that is truly, truly based on respect, mutual respect for each other. And I want to welcome all of you. I want to welcome you to join the debate. Whatever issue that we're having, join me and express yourself freely. I'm not going to tell you anything else. I'm not going to tell you that I have a Chinese phone. I'm not going to tell you, hey, your hair fake. No, I'm not going to even mention that. So this is a civilized, new Samson to civilized LPR panelists now. So I think we will do our best to make sure that you people enjoy the show. Because to be honest with you, people, I didn't even know, hello, Mr. Tour. Yeah, then when I look at, okay, somebody call you by their name like that, and you turn around and say, well, but then you start thinking, how the person know me? And where they get my name from? But that's a good feeling. And I want to thank all of you again. So let me go on to the main show here tonight. Tabata at his best. Rescue 1, calling Rescue 2. Rescue 1, calling Rescue 2. Join me. Folks, I sent the link out already. So, Rescue 1, we sent the link out already. Join us. Folks, Liberia is it's a unique place to be. You know, sometimes, and I'm glad that I got these documents now, because the reason why, like I said, I want to point out some of the reason why we went to civil war. So hopefully, these young people will learn from that. But from all indication, we don't even care to look back. We just want to move forward. Well, what if you step on the same snake that bit you before? Why that snake is out there? How are you mindful not to step on the snake again? And this is my show tonight, folks. So if you go on Front Page Africa, which I'm urging all of you to do, go on Front Page Africa, and you should be. Oh, she called me. Oh, wow, my other daughter called me too. Wow. Yeah, I see it, but I'll call them later. The owner of the house called me, and I missed a call. Hey, I missed a call. Then my daughter called me from Philadelphia I missed a call. CEO, who's CEO? CEO called me, I care to pick up a call. I don't want to pick up no CEO call. Clarence, good evening. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, CDC and myself, we're friends now. We're not going to have Mayflower anymore. But let me go to the main story here tonight, folks. If you haven't done so, go to Front Page Africa, folks. Go to Front Page Africa, and then so there will be those cynics among us that say, but Front Page Africa, that they hate anything about this government. You keep thinking like that, and you will find yourself in a bad place, to be honest. And so you shouldn't be thinking like that. I read and I'm looking for the article here. Excuse me, guys. Give me a minute.
Rachel de Kibo, je adé. Oh, abrene gogo, nyali wa banyo, nyali okora pawe. Abri gogo nyali. Abri gogo nyali, Stefan Soko. Oh, abrene, kanana, amabri ngara gogo nyali wa. Stefan Soko ya okora pawe. Aya, gogo na very casawa. I'm America very titi papa para esa. Why don't you get by your? You secret I'm a sisi la play. We are in a go nyali. Are pa no e for bravo. Hey yeah. Awo. Taba sisi no wo are na very paka. Taba sisi no wo are na very. Why yeah. Ale na you there for bravo. Abi there go nyali. No to my day to play. Amro alo. Ade wa ba bere wa sawake. Wa ba be. Amba wa mabani. Ni ama. Amba wa mabani. Amba ra su wa bula ba yo. Abi na ni ka bere titi baba. Ata tu bo amba wa mabani. Mabani. Tuki dali. Oje Seigneur. Asma ça. Waya. Rachel de Kibo, je adé. Oh, après Gogo, Yaliwa, Bagno, Yalia pour la femme. Avec Gogo, Yali. Avec Gogo, Yali, Stéphane Soko. Oh, après Nana, Amabé Mera Gogo, Yaliwa, Stéphane Soko, ya pour la femme. Aïe, Gogo, Yaliwa. Amana very casawa. I'm America very titi papa para esa. Why don't you get by your? You secret I'm a sisi la play. We are in a go nyali. Are pa no e for bravo. Hey yeah. Awo. Taba sisi no wo are na very paka. Taba sisi no wo are na very. Why yeah. Ale na you there for bravo. Abi there go nyali. No to my day to play. Amro alo. Ade wa ba bere wa sawake. Wa ba be. Amba wa mabani. Ni ama. Amba wa mabani. Amba ra su wa bula ba yo. Abi na ni ka bere titi baba. Ata tu bo amba wa mabani. Mabani. Ana mabani. Tuki dali. Oje Seigneur. Asma ça. Waya. Rachel de Kibo, je adé. Oh, après Gogo, Yaliwa, Bagno, Yalia pour la femme. Avec Gogo, Yali. Avec Gogo, Yali, Stéphane Soko. Oh, après Nana, Amabé Mera Gogo, Yaliwa, Stéphane Soko, ya pour la femme. Aïe, Gogo, Yaliwa. Amana very casawa. I'm America very titi papa para esa. Why don't you get by your? You secret I'm a sisi la play. We are in a go nyali. Are pa no e for bravo. Hey yeah. Awo. Taba sisi no wo are na very paka. Taba sisi no wo are na very. Why yeah. Ale na you there for bravo. Abi there go nyali. No to my day to play. Amro alo. Ade wa ba bere wa sawake. Wa ba be. Amba wa mabani. Ni ama. Amba wa mabani. Amba ra su wa bula ba yo. Abi na ni ka bere titi baba. Ata tu bo amba wa mabani.
Again, folks, Samson told La Bropa Radio. Sorry I went away for a few minutes. We have take care of a few things here. You know, we are family now. So anyhow, let me talk about this wonderful thing about this front page Africa information that I was talking about earlier. Okay, so on front page Africa has reported that the speaker, the newly elected speaker, had appointed appointed people into a different committee. But according to the information, I'm trying to find it here. According to the information, he was not supposed to do that because of the House rule. It does not allow him, would not allow Speaker to appoint um, a committee heads, and so that was the issue. But I can't find that article now. I don't know why. But so he was suspending. I mean, removing former committee head and people. The gist of the article was that Kuhn, Speaker Kuhn, they were hoping that by coming in, that Speaker Kuhn was going to try to unify. Apparently, the fact that he has violated, if he did that, which would be in violation of House rule, uh, the place is not calming down. Is rescue one, rescue one, rescue one is calling rescue two. Join me. So the place is not calming down. I'm not too sure why Speaker Kuhn will not try to, because they said these people are appointed, they're supposed to be in office. Doesn't matter what, in office for 3 years. They can only be removed according to the House rule by cause, and they must be given due process. And for free, for Kuhn to come in and bring his own people, I really don't understand that. I just it's just a little bit baffling for me to hear, because I thought the house issue was behind us. I thought Speaker Kuhn was going to move on with unifying the first of all, unifying the group. Okay, but apparently that is not happening. That is not happening. So Speaker Kuhn, who is now the speaker, okay, and I'm trying to find the article, folks. I want to do justice to myself here, to be honest with you. Okay, so but anyway, go on and see if you can find that. See if you can find that. Okay, all right, right here, right here. Because I want to read it. I want to read it. I want to read it, to be honest with you. It says here, the recent election of Rachel Cohn as Speaker of the House of Representatives was anticipated as a resolution to the prolonged legislature paralysis that crippled the lower chamber of Liberia legislature for over 7 months. However, instead of ushering in a new era of unity and uh, and adherence to, I can't see this, adhering to constitutional order, Speaker Kuhn earlier action has sparked renewal controversy and raised legal and procedural concern, particularly regarding his sweeping appointments to House leadership positions. Okay, So it says here, Kuhn, who represent Moserado County Electoral District 11, officially assumed the office, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, I'm not going to. The power struggle left House politically fragmented and largely ineffective for more than half a year. Okay, the hope, the hope among many lawmakers and political observers was that Kuhn's formal induction would pave the way for healing institutional stability. Instead, his immediate move to appoint new committee chairperson and members has been met with significant pushback, not just from the political in ramification, but also for the perceived violation of the House new rule. So the point here that, and I'm struggling to read it because it's small, and for some reason I can't get it tonight. Like I said, I'm not even a high school graduate. I don't even get GED. So if I read crown reading to you, that I will be careful. I was gonna say something else, but I catch myself straight because I want to make sure people are watching, and I want to be civilized. So, but anyhow, let's get back to it. So as I stated, Richard Cohn action, and if it is left with him and his people, President Barkai, excuse me, guys, please.
Toute l'Italie, oh Dieu Seigneur, à ce moment-là. Voyez, Rachel de Kibo, je adé. Oh, après Gogo, Nyali va Bagnon, Nyali va Papa, avec Gogo, Nyali. Avec Gogo, Nyali, Stéphane Soko. Amabengara koto nyaliba sepan soko ya kwa prawe aya koto nyaliba amana vere kasawa amagrika vere titi kwa kwa vere sa seri peke ayo yije bayo ye sikre kama pa sisi ye la play oya le koto nyali are bayo e kwa prawe hey koto nyali awo Taba sisi nyoro alena velini paka. Taba sisi nyoro alena velini. Waye alena yuya korokabu. Abide kodo nyali.
Again, folks, Samson told family. I just got back, so everybody is anxious. So please bear with me. Very funny. I'm gonna read. Okay, I'm gonna read Quran language. Okay, let me read it. Let me read it in Quran now. But and my daughter, she said I'm gonna do it. I got to be careful. I got to be civilized. Vera, I try to do it because you're my daughter. You say do it, so I want to do it. But let me read the Quran English small associate. You know. They hope they hope among many and political observer what they come on and you see what I'm going with it, Vera. Samson too. But anyway, let's move on. Good evening. Oh, Madam So, Rita So, thank you for joining us, sister. We're just having fun here. But anyhow, thank you for joining me tonight. We appreciate it. But let me go on to the meeting. What Richard Kuhn have started, and I'm going to be, if what I'm reading, if it is true, President Waka need to step in immediately and don't talk to me about separation of powers. That's another functioning of no. Because if look, some of the document that I got here, these are some of the exact thing. Let me give you an example. I don't have the document with me, but I remember it. And this one I'll call name. Kekura Boto wrote to Chief of Staff of the Army, Henry Duba, 1984, that Henry Duba and the Army should do whatever is possible to support the candidacy of President Doe. And Henry Duba replied to say what the Army is for the president. The Army of the Republic of Liberia is for the president. And the Army of the Republic of Liberia is here to support the NDPL. I got the papers here. And Henry Dubai, he says that he will do everything possible if it means his last breath to make sure the president succeed and President Doe become president of the Republic of Liberia in 1985. We have Richard Coon. For 7 months, the House of Representatives was not going well. President Buckeye was not getting his agenda carried out effectively because of the impasse of the House of Representatives. And now you have Richard Coon, from what I'm reading, saying the people, according to the House rule, that he's not going to suspend the House rule. Pretty much, he hasn't said it, but if the House rule say X and you say Y, that means you're suspending the X of the House rule. And nobody among the executive to say, no, you can't do that. You are the speaker. We want you to be the speaker. You were duly elected, but you cannot do that. What made man what made machine made him vest? These things don't end well. These kinds of behavior in a society of a country that's just coming from civil war. You cannot continue to push people around and you expect that people will be laughing with you. President Waka, from my perspective, need to step in and tell Richard Coon enough is enough. For over 7 months, many of us believe the House of Representatives was not functioning. And here he comes now, violating his own house rule. The House said you can remove somebody, but you must do so with cause and with due process. Where is the due process? Even if you want to remove people like Marvin Cole and what have you, where is the due process? Because you were elected speaker, these people have constituencies. These people have supporters within the House of Representatives. Will you want to go ahead and rule only majority black from your hotel? But at least the hotel has been legitimized. But do you want to rule that amount of people and not everybody else? So to heck with the rest of the minority black. Just because you were elected speaker now, you'll do whatever you want to do. And this is why many Liberians rejected your speakership from day one. Because it's unbelievable. If what I'm reading, if it is true, then Richard Coon's behavior in this role is unacceptable. Because if he can violate the rule, the house rule that govern them, how to operate among themselves, if he doesn't have respect for that rule, what makes you think he's going to get respect for the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia? And I'm saying here to you tonight that this kind of behavior must be stopped. Those who think it's funny, those who think it's funny, You don't have some of the document that I have, where for my first time I heard somebody using the weaponization of the political process in Liberia back in 1984, when people were writing, "This is unsustainable. These type of condition, these type of things that are happening in this country, we cannot sustain it." If you're not careful, they said those days, we might find ourselves in a crisis, a civil crisis. And people talk, some of these people are being just, oh, he too hyper. You cannot. All of you guys were elected, duly elected by your constituents around the country. All of you, in the eyes of the law, you're evil. All of you are evil because your behavior, people consider you're evil. Let me work on Mr. Nabe here, who's just joining me. Thank you.
What's up, Lebron? How you been living, man?
I got plenty document on you're in trouble with me. My man, some of the document that I got go all the way back to, what was it, 1972? I mean, go back to 76, 77. Oh my goodness. Interesting
so
reading.
we're gonna lead a whole rescue discussion. That
Yeah,
what we're
yeah,
doing now?
yeah. I come to talk about you love it.
Oh
You know me,
wow!
you know me. I move around, so yeah. But anyway,
But listen, man,
that
it is
rescue
good
because
to speak
I
with.
know where you ever. So
No,
I want to.
I miss you. That why I came by. I've been away for a while.
Okay, all right. So don't say anything about. But I promise myself I'm gonna be civilized now. I'm gonna be civilized. So I will not say plenty things today, but first of all let me welcome you. Thank you for joining me, Nabwe.
Hey, thank
So,
you very much. Yeah, you're right. We were in Monrovia. My wife and I we joined the delegation end of April to early May. Yeah, the union went in there to break grounds for a multi-purpose complex somewhere in the White Plains area, going towards
first
Louisiana.
of a kind. First, that would
Ye-
be if you guys do that, I will be dancing. I will be dancing for once for union to build something over there instead of destroying. That's
Yeah,
something. That's a change.
I mean, we're not naive. We're not going to be naive. It's a challenge, but I think we'll do the best we can. But you're right. We wanted to help our people back there, so it's going to be a multi-purpose complex. After school tutoring, a medical facility, a community bank, library, all kinds of little stuff in it. So we went there to break ground, and yeah, we're back. I thought I could join from there, but it proved to be a little challenging. But anyway, I'm glad to be back. I'm sure everyone here has been doing well. I missed the fundraiser, but yeah, I will chip in. I told the CEO that I will make my little contribution. And thank you very much for the effort. And
Thank
thanks to
you.
our audience for staying with the program. It is good to be back. But I was coming in, I was listening to what you were saying, and all jokes aside,
Right,
I,
right,
I think you was striking very, very, important point here. For 7 months, this country endured the worst, in terms of our reputation and everything. We were the
right,
laughing stock of the region. We couldn't get our act together.
right,
ECOWAS Parliament came in twice, nothing. And somehow, we managed to survive this, and we're trying to put it behind us. And yes, of course, now Speaker Kun emerged now as a legitimate speaker, duly elected. Something that Kofa had advocated for. He wanted to be removed legally. So that has happened, right? Now,
right,
when you win something like this, especially such a hard, a hard fought, battle, and you win, you got to be magnanimous in your victory. You got to be magnanimous. You got to reach out. You got to start building bridges and start accommodating. There's a lot of people who have been hurt by this thing. There are a lot of hurt feelings. So he has a responsibility now as the victor out of this crisis, to really to redouble his efforts, bend over backwards to reach out to these people. But it looks as though, at first of all, I saw, the T-shirt that his team wore on the day of the election, and I thought it was insensitive. The rule of law, Musa and his group had been saying they were the rule of law people, and therefore they were using that slogan, what the law is the law. So now they won this thing, and I thought coming back to rub it in their faces, So I said, okay, this is politics. I think they have a little right, they're entitled to a little bit of bragging here and there. But it looks like he's taking it too far. It looks like he's taking this thing seriously.
Well, but
There
yes,
are
yes,
rules,
yes, you think it the way I
right?
see it. And like I said, I have not only on you, like on a very serious note, I have some documents here that if these documents were made available to Liberians back in 1980, 84, 85, I think those who have the ability to leave would have left before the war, because there's no way that anybody in their good mind will read these documents and don't think that there will be a civil war in Liberia, a civil crisis in Liberia. Now, the magnitude of that and to what extent and the destruction that came out of it, nobody would have predicted that. But one way or the other, the smart people among us, if they had their hands on these documents, would have known that there will be some sort of a crisis. Because this started exactly what is happening right now. You cannot continue to push people around and you
Yeah,
expect these people to just sit down. First of all, they are Liberian just like you. They were duly elected in those positions.
yeah,
Now, some of us don't believe that you guys need that. You guys really can serve us anyhow. But besides our griping and complaining, what have you, in the eyes of the law, every one of these people were elected,
yeah,
and they are on an equal footing. Now, the rule of the house, their own rules, says that if you're going to elect somebody or put somebody in a position, that person have to serve for at least 3 years.
yeah,
The person can be removed, but only by cost and through a due process.
yeah,
The
yeah,
reason why people rejected Richard Cohen before is some of the things that he's showing now. Immediately when Richard Cohen became speaker, the first time, there was a lady that came on this platform and said, I know Richard Cohen. I work with Richard Cohen. He's not a unifier. Because Richard Cohen used to fight all the time with people. He's going to destroy it. Now, granted, the people elected you to be speaker because they did not want you to be disgraced. And then you come out, the person who was busting doors down, you're going to reward him with a position. People, because they were in your camp, you're going to reward them with a position, which is okay. But that should be done legally.
yeah,
If you want to remove these people, find a cause. Reason why they need to be removed. Even you can come back and say, you guys were not in section. And they'll say, we thought that thing was over. Well, but the rules say you were supposed to be in section. You were not in section. And nail them on that. You cause that's a cause. And then you can defend them because there's a part in your rule book that says you can do you have to be present. It's debatable, but you can make the but what argument you have now to violate the rule of your house? And I'm saying to many of the audience here, and one of them already disagreeing with me, which I don't mind. But many of the audience, if you're going to violate the rule of the house, your own rule that govern you, then most likely you have no respect for the Constitutional Republic of Liberia. And
yeah,
this is my argument. And I think now let me go to the bigger page now, and then I hope you don't try to run with it. because you're 1% or you're a little wrong with thing too much.
Oh, you see my byline?
Well, what is it? What is it? Okay.
So let me took my own horn since you are shying away. So I
Congratulations, then.
thank you. So I advised the CPP quickly on the last election I did. Musa was the chairman then, and I got impressed by what he did, and he started the citizen movement for change, and I kind of like what he's doing, especially in District Number 7 and the whole of Nimba. And so they've asked me to come and help, and I said, yeah, of course, I'm willing. So the short side of the long story is they've asked me to run the Northeast region, and so I'm giving that a shot. But so that's what I'm on right now. But
Okay. I mean, before we go to Kun and what I think is the next um, self destruction path that Kun is taking on
right,
false error, we call it,
yeah,
and it's gonna hurt him. It's
and
gonna hurt
you're
him.
right, unforced error, absolutely. But yeah, go ahead.
But before we do that, how many members you guys have on the CMC USA?
Well, the party was launched on the 1st of March, so it's a pretty relatively brand new party.
Mhm.
I honestly don't have the numbers yet, but I can tell you that we have the CMC Global in that chat room that I am in. I think about 90 something people there now, and then there is the CMC USA, which is CMC Global is headed by Dr. Francine Richardson.
Mm,
With Richardson, the famous Spoon TV panelist,
right.
and of course the national chair is James Yogi in Liberia, and then Ms.
Mm,
Grace Goa, who is also a panelist on the closing argument, is the USA chair. So we're trying to break it down into pieces. Applications are still coming in. I mean, they're simplifying the process in a simple Google form. You put your particulars in, and boom, you send it in. So we're still recruiting. But here's what we're doing. On the 21st of June, we'll be launching our first chapter in Minnesota. So the Constitution allows for the erection of a chapter once you've attained a 50-member membership. So Minnesota has surpassed that, and so on June 21st, we'll be flying out there. We'll be assembling. You're welcome to join us. LPR can come in, tell the CEO. I'll tell him myself. You gotta know you're not telling. So I'll tell him myself. The network can come and represent. So now after that, I was just talking to because Maryland is in my region. I was just talking to one of my colleagues there, Miss Nadine Sau. I think she may have already passed the 50 mark in Maryland. So Miss Grace Gore has informed me that
let me let me ask you this:
yeah.
Is this splinter branch of ANC?
You know, I've had that question, but no, it is not. This is a full-fledged. Actually, will be launching.
So who
Uh,
are you? Let's try to, if I may use the word, diagnose.
that the diagnose.
I want to be ridiculous.
And see,
Diagnose.
you see? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Even though you can be well-meaning, but your words are you like comeback. So bring the comeback. Use your
let me
combative
let,
words, and let's
let me
diagnose. All right, go ahead and
let me
diagnose.
try to diagnose your membership. So these members, are they CDC holdout, ANC runaway, Unity Party leftover? Who are the?
So let me tell you this, right? Let me tell you this.
Oh my goodness! You guys
Let
are
me tell
killing
you
us.
this. Let me tell you this, Mr. To Liberal. My membership on the UPP, all right, I stopped. You'll be shocked how many people today have come through the rank and file of the United People's Party. And so I'm kind of used to it. A lot of the people today who are playing on the in the political space, most of them came through UPP. Yeah, I can tell you that they have associated with UPP. Even the current president, Joseph Boakai. So I understand that people will come and they will stay with you if they like what you're doing and if they believe that you have the capacity to deliver on their expectation, on their aspiration. So a long time ago, UPP had that promise, that capacity. Right now, we don't have that capacity. The party right now is struggling to survive, and that's how I associated with the CPP, and that's how I'm associated with CMC. Where am I going with all this? I'm saying to you, membership in the party is not stagnant. People come in and
But
they can stay
let
here.
me
So
since
the membership right now, the CMC, we're all comers. I am a
okay,
UPP man who is
okay,
helping out.
okay.
We have
So
the CDC, we have
let me
CDC
ask
people.
you this then. Let
Yeah.
me ask you this. And this is I think the word even though we're joking, but I think it's a correct word diagnose.
Okay. You
I
can
think
you can go ahead and use that. I will not take any offense.
this is the disease that we have in the Liberian political arena.
Mm.
Uh, I would say the loyalty to party and loyalty to ideas does not seem to be holding these days than they were back in the days.
No, absolutely. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. For a very long time, liberal, and I'll be honest, for a very long time, uh, I choose loyalty over anything else. I was with the UPP for over 40 years, and I'll be honest with you. Even when Gabriel Matthew died, um,
So you do know. Okay, go ahead, carry on.
but what I have realized, and I'm being realistic here, I'm realizing also trumps, I believe, loyalty. I now come to understand that my party that I believed in and stood with for all these decades may not have the capacity to deliver on my aspiration and my expectation. And therefore, if I still want to see my aspirations and my expectations realized, maybe I should try my luck with a party that seems to have the capacity. And I'm telling you that I have observed what Musa Ability has done. Look, let me tell you this. This guy, even though he is only a representative of District 7, but what he's done in Nimba, including is he's brought in yellow machines in Nimba that are building roads in Nimba, even building roads in districts of his colleagues on the Nimba Legislative Caucus who voted against him in this going election. But yet, he's brought in his machine and he's helping these people. So the point is, I am now at that level where if I see an opportunity that I think will help me to realize my dream of impacting my society, my Liberian society, and I believe this vehicle has that capacity, and I can go in and address whatever misgivings I may have about that vehicle. If there is a question of trust, if there's a question of credibility, whatever it is, and I think I can go in and confront those and help that vehicle deliver on my aspiration, I will go in and help out. And that is what I'm doing right now. There are a lot of people right now in the CMC who came from all over. We have CDC people with us, we have UP people with us, we have UPP people, we have
So
LPP people
so
with us.
let me ask you this. I think we're gonna get off of Richard Cohen and talk
Yeah,
about
let's do something fresh. Let's have a fresh
this
conversation.
is a little bit interesting and concerning.
Yeah.
What is the glue that holding all of these people together here on this? Is it the infatuation with Musa ability, or you guys are just um easily wove toward his ideas, or what ideas are you guys uh, accumulating around here?
So, so what is drawing us? What is drawing me, and I believe the others. I will not speak for the others. What is drawing us, like I said, is his demonstrated capacity to address and tackle head on um issues that are confronting our people.
Like
I mean,
what?
look what he's done in the last couple of months he's been in office. He is connecting so many parts of Nimba that were never connected from since the founding of this country. He's built a bridge. He's building another bridge there. He's fixing the road. He's using his yellow machine and making some of the roads pliable so that our people will have the capacity to bring their produce to market. You know, he's doing a lot of stuff. He went in there and inaugurated a bridge that he named after Tiawan Gonglo, not even after himself. So before I even signed on to this, I sat down with him in two meetings. I sat down on a Zoom meeting, and then when I was in Monrovia, I went to the office and sat down with him, and I said, Musa, what is it that you're really trying to do here? And he laid it out to me. Over the next 2 years, he said, I'm going to do the best I can to impact every county in a major way. In the next 2 years, I'm going to go in there. If it is the road they need, if it's the bridge they need, whatever they need, I'm going to impact it in a major way. That's what I'm doing in Nima. I will try to replicate that. And after the 2 years, I will go to our people and ask them, what do you think? Should we continue with this? Should we then put ourselves forward for election? And the people say, yes, we think you can. And then we'll talk about election. But for now, what we want to do is to hit the pavement and get to our people, assess their needs, and try to address those needs. And that's what I've been after all my years in UPP, to be able to meet my people and meet them where their problems are, and together try to solve those problems. If he's willing to do that, and he seems to have the demonstrated capacity and the will to do that, I will join him to help our people, and that's what I signed
Since
up for.
since you're saying that you had a conversation with him, were you able to tell us tonight whether you were able to have conversation about him, his intent? Because you're saying that he will go to the people
Yes,
and ask as to whether they want him to continue with it on a larger scale, which
correct.
hopefully you're talking about national leadership. Does that not put him at odds, squarely at odds with his colleague, his friend, Jeremiah Cohn?
No, I don't think so. Politics is competition. You bring your idea to the marketplace. And yes, I sat down with him and then we discussed this. Like I said, he doesn't have a clear answer until after the next 2 years. He tells me after 2 years, based on what he's done,
So let me
uh,
ask you.
the, the commission.
Let me.
No, hold on. I know you have 1,000 questions, and I know Chisego and other people are sending you the question. Terry, then I get it. But hold on. So he said after 2 years, he's going to commission this survey. If the people say no, you're not ready to be president, or because you're a Mandingo man or you're a Muslim man, or if that is too big compared to what you've done, then he will focus on legislative seats. But if the people say, okay, we like what you've done, we think you should try, then he's not only going to put a name for it, he will bring a list of.
Was he able to? And you're an educated man. I don't see you flaunting yourself all over this place here just for political, being a political carpetbagger. I don't see
No,
that in you. I also don't see you gravitating towards people who have nothing to offer. Uh, but then the question to me is, you know the history of Musability.
yes,
Were you able to ice king, and does he have the ability to address the road fund issues
I
and
did.
the gasoline taxes and what have
I
you?
did.
Okay,
I
let's
did.
hear.
I did.
What did
I
he say?
did. Which one do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about the road fund first.
Let's do it. So what he tells me is the road form question. The government they went after a case that did not exist. What they tried to do is when they brought a case against him, um, they were trying to go after a transaction that transpired before the road fund law was instituted. They wanted him to go back and pay taxes on transactions that happened before the law came into being. And you and I know that's not how the law works. He's never refused to pay, but he is not going to pay for those transactions that happened before the law was enacted. He's willing to pay for those taxes, to pay those taxes that the period covers, but not to go backwards behind to make it retroactive. That has been his argument, and we discussed this. He is not refusing to make those payments, but he's not going to go back to pay retroactively, and we all know that's not fair. I think I understood that.
So he did admit of owing the rest.
Yes, yeah, and he's paying. He's on a payment process.
What's about the gasoline surplus or whatever you want to call it, the taxes?
Yeah,
What
I,
he
I you talking about the COVID relief, or what is it?
no, the gas because he was one
That is
time.
the road fund. That is the road fund. I think there's a
Okay.
25. I think there's a
Yes.
25%
Yes.
tax.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. Okay. So the fact that he was able to, and let me be careful here because if he become president, I want him to look at my way here. But besides that, let me be honest here. To be
Let me ask you, the current president, so put you looking your way. I want,
I want the other group. You're going to throw job.
but go ahead.
But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Right.
Is he concerned that Liberians would say this man was put in charge of responsible position so that he would be able to help generate fund to support the hospitals, schools, but yet still he was able to scheme certain part of it. And now he's talking about payment plan. How much more if you were to give him that kinds of power where he would be in charge of the entire resources of the country? How much scheming will he do? Is he concerned with those type of questioning?
Yeah, I mean, liberal. Let's face it. You and I in this country, none of us go to the store and pay anything cash down. I mean, it's just the nature of business. The man is a businessman. I think if you're refusing to pay, that would be concerning. But yeah, he's not denying that he has taxes to pay, and he's paying. I mean, this man is paying enormous amounts of money to the government
I
to
agree.
support. Yes,
How do we get there? How do we get to that position to that point? Did it because he simply refused to pay at the time, or he just didn't? The tax was being taxed. He was being taxed a certain amount of the amount of money that he was not making, and that they were falsely taxing him on something that he didn't make. Is that
yes.
how?
It took a while to unpack, what the allegations are, to draw a line between what was legitimately owed and what was allegedly owed. To be honest with you, I think you do have a legitimate concern here as to, how did this accumulate. But again, I repeat, to owe taxes, back taxes is not a crime. I mean, people do that all the time. I think what it is the attempt to evade payment of those taxes. I think that is wrong.
Okay.
So
So
as
so
long
so
as he is willing to make that right, I think that I don't have a problem with that.
so the question was say and I mean one is for you and then the other one will be for Musa. Let me ask you first. What would be your answer to those brothers and sisters if I wanted them just posted something here? I think you have seen it. But let me rephrase that.
Who,
What
who,
would be
you mean Godwin?
yeah.
Godwin, what do you say? I
uh,
just want to eat Musa money.
yeah, yeah,
Is that what is it? So
yeah.
yeah, I mean he's entitled
But
to his opinion.
that's
Yeah. And
that's
first of all,
below.
I never met Alex Cummings all the time I was on the campaign. I met
Yeah,
Louis Brown.
but
Who was
those
there.
of us that know who you are, I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna
So, but
dignify it.
anyway,
But
go ahead with it.
let
Go
me
ahead.
ask you this then.
Yes.
Uh, the question is for you now. The fact that you are saying owing taxes is not a bad thing, but we're talking about society where corruption is everyday issues in
Right.
Liberia. Musa Ability didn't just owe the taxes But Musa ability, according to the story, refused to pay. As a result, he owed taxes.
Okay.
Now, how do you square that with yourself? Someone who, uh, for lack of better word, would say refuse to help the society move up, or is it? And this you can use as a uh, diversion conversation if you want. If you want to escape the question, hardball question on ice cream, if you want to escape it, I will give you.
No, it's
I will
actually, it's
let me give
actually.
you a leeway. Let me give you a leeway on this
Go
here.
ahead. Go ahead. A legitimate
Is it?
question.
Is it or is it that Musa ability in his right mind to say if I pay my taxes to these people, they're not gonna use it to benefit the Liberian, but they will eat it themselves. And therefore I will use it for what I need to do. And then when the time comes, I will use that same money to benefit the Liberian people. Is that some sort of a way to can you use that type of analogies to try to make him look good in the eyes of the Liberian people on this?
Yeah, I really don't. I'm not sure if I ever asked the question in the way you're phrasing it, whether he was trying to protect the people against misapplication of the fund. I think that's what you're implying here. But I do know that the court battle was a protracted battle, and at the end of that, I believe some of the taxes were already owed. But I said this, I mean, my concern really for our leaders is, the corruption is different from a businessman and his obligation to the government. I mean, those are two different things. If you and if I were to ask you as an engineer to run the Ministry of Public Works, and we give you money to do roads and all of that, and you misapply the money, that's to me that's different. Then you as a businessman, if you took a business a company to Monrovia and you want to work for government, and you owe taxes. I think those are two different things. But the point is also that he is paying the taxes that have been legitimately calculated that he is supposed to pay. And I think I'm okay with that. He's paying the government. He's making sure he pays his taxes as a businessman. I honestly did not ask him whether there was any other motivation behind the fact that he was in a protracted legal battle with the government, and that took time to unpack. And in the process, some of these taxes accumulated. Now, whether some of it was intentional, I'm sure some of it may have been. And as a businessman, you want to put yourself in the best position to be able to compete. And if that means, holding on to some of the money and paying later to give you enough liquidity to be able to push your business much further, that's a business decision that people take. As to whether when you do that, people are going to suffer and all of that, I'm not sure. I'm not
But
sure,
then,
and
but,
that's
but let's
possible.
let's let's take a good point.
Yeah.
Logically, that makes sense.
Mm.
Intellectually, that makes sense. Um, as a highly educated person, that makes sense, of course. Business minded person, that makes sense. But let's go back into the street of Monrovia. Do you think they will understand that decision Musa made, if what you're saying, if that's what if in fact that's what he did, hold on to the money to improve his business by employing more people, and then say I will pay later. That's a business decision. But do you think if that kinds of explanation was made, you think the people in the street of Monroe will understand it and accept that?
Well, if the problem is the absence of liquidity, if the problem for which the roads are bad is because the government doesn't have money to fix the road, then that's a legitimate concern. But the problem we have is the judicial management of the resources that are available. I mean, take your Minister of Public Works, for instance, $22 million. He said he spent $8.9 million on the road. You go and show me whether that was the best use of the money that he was giving. So yeah, if the process is the question is that because people like Musa or the business people are not paying their taxes, so the money is drying up and therefore the government is not functional, that's a legitimate concern. But I think that is our problem. Our problem here is that our people are not managing the resources properly. That is our
So,
problem.
so then you would then agree with me then perhaps a speculation at this point that perhaps Musa ability intended to pay, but having looked at the corrupt behavior of these people, mismanagement of people fund and what
That
have
is
you,
very
and
possible.
he could say, you know what, if I let me use this money to improve my business. Instead, if I pay these people, they're not going to give it back to the Liberian people to benefit them. They'll put it in their pocket. So why should I put the money in their pocket? I will
I'm,
I will improve my
absolutely.
business.
I'm
So
going to
it,
say I'm going to say I don't know if that was his motivation, but if I were in his situation and I had to take a decision like you're describing, that's what I would do. I would say, okay, you know what? I don't trust these guys to apply this money properly. I'll hold on to it until a government comes in that I think is capable and willing to spend the money wisely. I think that is a smart decision. I wish that was one of the reasons why he withheld. But I agree with you. I think that's a legitimate reason that anybody could use to hold on, especially that he's not refusing to pay what he legitimately owes.
okay. Well, and then on the other side of it,
Yeah,
the argument then would be if speculation also at this point. The other side would be, well, if this is the good argument that Musa has, who is he to determine what government that is duly elected, how they whether they're mismanaging the money or what have you? Is he the defender of the Liberian people now?
again, that is assuming that was the decision, the motivation. But I'm
So
saying
so so let's assume that was it. What would be an answer to my speculation,
and I
speculative
would say
question?
that I would say yes, and that is probably one of the driving forces behind him getting into politics now. Maybe he observed from the sidelines as a businessman, and for a long time he saw how these people were mismanaging the resources entrusted to them. Maybe that's what is driving him. I mean,
So so
what kind of freshman lawmaker will go in the house and right away want to be speaker because he wants to put himself in a position of power to be able to influence the decisions that are happening, to our people, decisions that are made that impact our people.
so
I will, I will
in the interest of fairness,
yeah.
let me just diverge here quickly. Many of the questions that I'm asking, I have done some serious research on Mosability. I
Okay.
did a I did a 2 hours, 2 days show here on Mosability and the football issues,
Okay.
and I was able to get lots and lots of information, including the World Fund stuff, and many of the people. And their question that I just asked, and the speculation, of course, it's speculation, but many
Right.
of the defender of Musa ability was saying just exactly what I said. Why should he give the money to the people when they're going to eat it? They're not going to use it for Liberian people. So let him keep it and use it for a business. If the time comes, like you correctly said, if he found a good business stuff, he will. He will put it in there. And there's another group in South Africa that fought hard for Musa ability without Musa even involving himself with these people. But that the FIFA chief
Yeah.
was so corrupt that Musa wanted to expose him, according to them. And this group from South Africa, they were behind Musa to go further than that.
Yeah.
And there was a lady from Cameroon and a guy from Cameroon who then became the FIFA Africa, whatever it was at the
Right.
time. They
Right.
wanted, but he also, both him and the lady were corrupt. And Musa was saying at the time, and I have the video for that. These people are not to be trusted because they have no interest of developing African football. They
Yeah.
just want to. They just, according to Musa, that
Yeah.
they just want to identify few talent from Africa and take them to Europe to improve their talent in Europe. Whereas Musa was saying, we can improve the talent of these people here in Africa, and therefore, by the time they're ready to get out of here and go to Europe, they would have already helped to improve some of the talented kids here that they're leaving behind. And that argument was not holding well from
No.
the group from Cameroon, and they came up with this bogus. Well, I mean,
No.
you
I
know
mean,
what?
you're
But
right.
but, but yeah,
During
go
our
ahead.
conversation, that whole FIFA question you came up to, and he made it clear. FIFA is a racist organization. They
Mhm.
don't care about what goes on in the third world country. I mean, look at our young people who are competing on the global stage, through FIFA. What is it that FIFA is doing for Africa? What are they doing? They got all these beautiful stadiums and all these things in Europe and all over the place. When I don't know, has the World Cup ever come to Africa? You can't tell me South Africa cannot host the World Cup. Or did South Africa host the World Cup?
Yeah, they
I
host the
believe
World
they.
Cup.
Okay, I
They host
believe they did.
yeah,
I believe they
but South Africa is not really Africa anyway.
yeah, well, yeah, you and I, we can well, no, we can talk so and say that. But but look at the amount of our play. Yeah, that was Musa's argument that FIFA is racist. He did tell me, I think you said Cameroon, but I believe at the time he was also supporting another candidate from the Ivory Coast. But
Yes,
he said
yes.
that, yeah, yeah, he said that. He said that he challenged them. And this ban that they imposed on him, he said he was in flight. He was on a plane in the air when they imposed this so-called ban on him and through all these allegations, and
Right.
we were all made up only because he challenged them because of the racist attitude, and so they decided to trump up these charges and impose them on him. I ask him those questions because for me, I want to make sure I understand, what I'm
Well,
putting myself into.
I
Again, you
can
will not
say
have all the right answers, but eventually,
good luck, good luck.
Thank you.
But right now, you being a so what happened you to you guys, the ANC, the Dr. Richardson, and you that are now gravitating towards Musa? Were you guys? Do you expect to have Ellis coming to follow you?
So,
Because many of you are strong supporters of ANC,
let me
and
tell you something.
many of you have worked hard,
Yeah,
even with the 1%. Many of you work hard for the ANC to get 1%.
yeah.
Now you are leaving in drove the brain drain from the ANC to now the CMPP, whatever they call themselves. Now you're taking all your PhD and your WD and your but whatever it is, you're taking that to Musa Ability. Do you now expect Alex to come follow you, or you guys gonna have his party completely dry?
Let me say this, and I'm not speaking as a CMC spokesperson, but I'm hoping that there'll be some kind of coming together in the future. I hope so because I'll be honest, even why I'm still supporting the CMC, I think Ellis Cummings presents the best chance for Liberia. Even now, he presents the best chance to get us out of what we're in, and that's why I signed him on the CPP.
So
This
so
time
so
around.
so then the question also that's running through my mind is, if we're hoping that Alex will eventually come together with Musa Ability, Musa Ability supported Alex coming,
Yeah.
not just by mouth but financially as well. He spent some money, I'm sure of that. Now, why did he not just stay and improve the situation for which he decided to form his own political party? Could
Let me
he
put it
not have
this way.
just stayed to improve that?
Let me put it this way. And in real life experience, say you and I are friends, and my wife and I, we're having disagreements, and you come in and you try to help us, resolve it. And you try and try and try and try and try, you know, and you realize, this is probably wasn't meant, I don't know if this is a good analogy, but let me say this in short.
Just
Um
say Liberty Party. Don't be. I will not be offended. I'm a Liberty Party man, but I'm not going to be offended. Go
let me
ahead.
say, let me say it this way, right? And I asked him this question: What is it that you learned from the CPP experience that you hope will guide you as you drive the CMC? And he said he made some suggestions to Mr. Cummings, like some of the stuff that he's doing now in Nimba. He said to him, "You have some money, I have some resources. Let's do some bold things." And even before I became CPP, I said that. Mr. Cummings is a very wealthy man. I saw his trip he made to Maryland County, and I saw my mothers in Maryland County. I'm from Maryland. I'm from Barobo. What some of those women when I was missing to make farina? That's something he could have done. He could have easily done that. Empower hundreds of those women to make farina. Because that's our people to do the farm cassava. You're from the southeast, but I don't think he did that. So he said he made suggestions to Mr. Cummings to undertake some bold projects. For instance, maybe take over that Ganta to Hapo Highway. Maybe the both of them together. Musa already has yellow machine in the country all by himself. Maybe together they could have done that, but that didn't happen. And so when he said that, I said, you know what, I think I can understand it as much as I think he has the best plan to liberate
You
this
know,
country. But
Nabe,
if
Nabe,
yeah,
I don't mean to interrupt,
yeah.
but I think this is why I consider myself a political guru in this place here. What Musa suggested to Cummings I made that same type of suggestion.
Yeah.
But my point is much more forceful in that I argue that Comey in the entire race at the time
Yeah.
was the best candidate. He has the
And
most. He's the best.
absolutely.
Yeah, I believe he was. He could have done better than what we thought President Barker would do at the time. Now, my problem was Musa ability. I mean, Mr. Comey was not connected. He was not really known in Liberia as a political giant as he is, the political heavyweight as he is, and someone who has the leadership ability. Not many Liberians will go and read about Cummings. If you wanted to know what Cummings can do, you read. It's not something that you can see on Liberian TV or Liberian
No,
Facebook and things like that. You have to read.
no,
And
no.
once you read about it, you will
Yeah,
understand
you
his
understand.
ability to lead.
That's right.
But he was never connected. And I
No.
think most ability is suggesting utilize some of these things
Yeah.
and put these take responsibility of X, Y, and Z so
Yeah.
people will connect you
That's
with
right.
these kinds of projects. And this is what I meant when I said Comey was never connected. But many people took it out of context. And of course, as a liberal, yeah, you can take it out of context. It doesn't matter to me.
No,
As
there's some
long as
things,
you
and I
can.
absolutely agree with you, liberal. There are some things you can do by textbook. You can, for instance, you can take the European or American style of politicking and bring it into Africa, and no, you gotta make it suitable to the people, and that's what you're saying. I absolutely agree with you. I think Mr. Cummings, before I even joined to help him, he was on one of these shows, and I asked him, "Why do you think you're not gaining traction as much as you're very attractive on paper?" I don't think I understood the question he gave me. So I said to myself, okay, maybe I should get in there and see if I can help to offer some advice. And just like Musa said, several pieces of advice were put on the table. But advice is what it is. Advice. You can take it or not take it. I can advise to you, liberal. When you come on the show, do so and so, and you can take it or not take it. That's advice. And so yeah, I really believe Mr. Cummings, if we can get him to find a way to begin to connect with the people, I think he really still could make a very, very good president based on his experience and also based
If
on
if
his
if Comey
pragmatism.
was president today, we won't. Well, I don't think we'll have the debacle that is
I don't think we
happening.
would have what happened in the House of Representatives
No,
over the past
no,
7 months. I don't think
no,
so. With all due
no.
respect to the current president,
Right,
I don't
right.
think we would have had that. I
Okay.
don't think so.
All right, Namwe.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in. And I believe the CEO sent you to dislodge me from my talking point here
Yeah.
tonight. And then, but thank you for coming in. Those of you that I put a number or you didn't call, the
So
number said
now that you
goodbye
brought it
to
up, let me
you.
tell you how long I was in the background. And I'm sure your people were telling, don't let that man on the show. And I know
Oh, I didn't know
Terry.
you. I didn't know you were in the background.
And when you were going and coming up there and all of that, I was in the waiting room. But anyway, it's,
Oh,
it's, it's all good fun. And thank you for having me. I
thank
really
you.
am happy I'm back on. And, my regards to all CEO and the rest of the crew, Terry, Dr. Malley, Jerry, Moses, just the whole gang, Sissy, everybody else. Thank you very much. It's
Thank
an
you.
honor, pleasure. Yeah. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll say good night to you as well. All right. Again, folks, Samson told Labron Public will bring the curtain down on this program tonight. Rescue 2, Rescue 1, call and call and call. I ain't get anything from you. Clarence Dewey, I put a number on you and say nothing. You say, fine. So, you're good night, yeah? I'll be back again on Thursday. I'm back at home. But we just pray that everything will be okay. We'll be back again. Let's join Mr. Soul tomorrow and listen to some of his tabata he came here last night talking about the president, all the good thing the president doing. You see that one there. You see that one there. He can talk all kind of tabata here last night about my president. Good thing I was not here. I was in the air. So how do I know that you are talking tabata? Because I was in the air? I guess. Samson too. Okay, folks, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to have you. Emmanuel, thank you. Clarence David, of course, thank you. Thank you as well. Good one, thank you, my brother. Well, thank you. Always we like for you guys to join us. and have conversation. Risky Young, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We appreciate all of you. And I would say good night to all of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time. I thank God for the traveling mercy. We thank God for you all. Let's continue to pray for one another. Good night, folks.
Italie, mon Dieu Seigneur, à ça. Rachel de Kibo, je adé. Oh, après Gogo, Yaliba, Bagno, Yalia, Corapao. Avec Gogo, Yali. Avec Gogo, Yali, Stéphane Soko. Oh, après Nana, Amabé, Yala, Gogo, Yaliba. Stéphane Soko, Corapao. Aïe, Gogo, Yaliba. Amana vere kasawa America vere titi papa vere sa seri peko seri peko ayo yuje banyo ye sikre kama pa sisi ye la play oya le la odo nyali are banyo e koro bravo hey odo nyali awo baba sisi nyo wa are na vere ni paka baba sisi nyo wa are na vere ni wáyé alẹ́ náà yóò yẹ kọ̀rọ̀ káwé àbílẹ̀ ọ̀dọ́ nyàlí. yóò tún màdé jòkúrè àbúrò ayé o màdé wà bà bẹ̀rẹ̀ wà sàwákẹ́ wà bà bẹ̀ àgbáwé màgbà ni ní àmà àgbáwé màgbà ni àgbàdo àsùnwó gbìlẹ̀ bàyò àbílẹ̀ nígbà bẹ̀rẹ̀ títí bàbá ọjà tó wọ ọgbàgbé màgbà ni.